Hello and welcome to this chat view with Steve, Woolston and the English Sisters. Hello everybody. Hello Steve.
Hello.
So we're here to catch up basically on what you're up to at the minute.
Yes, that's right.
Sure. My training and coaching business has been going for a number of years now. I'm in the middle of a practitioner program at the moment, which is why I was offline for most of the weekend. I was teaching that. But I'm doing some interesting new things with my coaching work. I come from an IT background, so I work a lot with sort of white-collar professionals, project managers, IT professionals, people managers and things like that. And what I'm specializing in at the moment is there's a lot of people out there in corporate world, who are getting into their 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s. And they sort of vaguely remember being this, bright and motivated, young thing straight out of college. The world is their oyster, etc. But somehow in the intervening years, they've learned to hate Mondays and complain about the boss and complain about work. Go home feeling stressed and saying to themselves, but they have to do it because whatever reason. I see this a lot. So, a lot of my work these days is working with professional people like that, to help them reconnect with, the things that they loved about work before, get back into the flow, start succeeding again in some ways. And sometimes these practical things that people get stuck with, practical things like time management or whatever. Sometimes it's just the loss of vision, sometimes it's, where am I going with my career? I don't know where my career is going.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a simple case of, they've learned to complain more than they've learned to love what they're doing. So a lot of my coaching work these days is to really get people back into, thriving in their professional work. Because if you do find that you're complaining about Mondays and complaining about your boss and complaining about work generally, then you're not having the richest experience of your working life that you could be. And I think that's a shame because we only get to live once.
We do. And we spend most of our lives working if you actually think about it.
Of course we do, yeah. Of course we do.
I find the use that you actually use the word they've learnt to complain, that's very interesting. So you're saying this is a learned behaviour?
I think it is because workplaces have a culture, and there's a if you like an infection of a certain mindset. So if it's a workplace that's got low morale, that tends to spread.
It does.
Like hypnosis, it's like a certain energy in the air. It just tends to transmit. And I do think that people learn these things as habits. Because certainly with some of the recent clients I've been working with, see a lot of people think you have to quit your job and get a new job to be happy.
That's
right. The thing is, if you don't change the fundamental patterns behind all this, all will happen is you go into a new job and get into the same state.
That's right.
This is not about necessarily changing job. I mean, that might be part of it, but really it's about the patterns that are behind that, the things that forge the habits. And with the people that I've been working with, I've been able to get them to really enjoy their work without having to change what it was, simply by having new perspectives, developing new habits, looking at things in new ways. And that's largely where I'm going with my coaching work right now.
Wow, that's lovely.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
That's and because,
brilliant.
The other thing is, coming from that background, it's territory that I know. It's the kind of people that I know, it's the kind of environments that I know. I spent 20 years seeing it, so I know this territory. Yeah.
Because really, it's what you have inside you that you take to work every day. I think what's inside your mind. So if you can get people to see things differently, you're sort of opening their mind in a way to actually being able to notice things in a different way, which will take them. It will give them back all that energy they used to have. Because when they first started, they weren't looking at things like they are now.
No, they were full of energy and passion, and then somehow they learned to behave that way. It's actually so sad, isn't it?
It is, and as you know yourself, the greatest change happens within. generally speaking, when people are seeking some change to their experience by changing the externals, they're probably looking in the wrong place.
Yes. Yeah.
If you leave your job to go to a new one without changing the way you're thinking and your relationship with work, you might just end up in the same place. So the best change starts from within, and that's what I, like many other people, help people to do. Because if you think about it, Monday is really no different to Friday. So why be unhappy on Monday and unhappy on Friday? They're both work days.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
All that's different is how you perceive it. And you can perceive these things much, much differently. For everything you might think makes a bad day at work, there's something that can make it a good day. So change does start from within, and I think people can generally develop a much better relationship with their work, with their lives, with Mondays, with their boss, with the challenges that they think they might have. And so, and I think it's much more fulfilling. I mean, imagine a life where you love Mondays. Imagine a life where you love the work that you do.
It's a happy life.
Exactly. And so that's what I like to help people get into.
Wow. Well, let's hope then it will all spread, and their good mood will spread and be infectious just as the bad moods are too, and all this negative
That's
thoughts.
what does happen, doesn't
It does happen, yeah, it does.
So what kind of feedback have you been getting from your clients? Have they noticed a big improvement when they go back into the workplace?
Oh, sure. I mean, I've just finished a course of coaching with a client, and he's referred somebody on to me because this person said to him, gee, you're so different. I like what's happened to you.
That's brilliant.
That's brilliant, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, people even look different after coaching, don't they? They look younger. They stand taller. The whole physiology, everything just changes. It's so fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Absolutely, and as you know yourself, people tend to sort for confirmation of their expectations. So once they start getting into the cycle of expecting Mondays to be awful and the boss terrible, etc., it kind of manifests all by itself. It becomes a circular thing. So if we could sort of interrupt that circle and get it going in a new direction, you can start confirming new expectations.
Exactly.
Wow.
New expectations.
Wow, absolutely.
So basically, people are reborn after coming to see you.
Yes, it's like a rebirth. Well, it is, isn't it? It's fantastic. Can you imagine the effects this is going to have with their partner, not only in their,
because we find that a lot of people, I mean, when we coach people, but not as clients, but just in general when we're out and about, like a lot of people say that they're tired of their marriage, for instance, and it's the same thing there. They're looking for the same patterns.
Yes.
And a lot of them think they have to actually change partner and divorce, when really they just, if they change their inner selves, they would. They would. This would bring about change in everything.
Of course, and of course, sometimes it's the right thing to do to change. Depends on what's happening in the work or in the relationship or whatever it is.
Yes.
If you just keep looking for externals to make you happier, you might never find that.
No.
Because I mean, I've certainly seen this. If we talk about relationships as a similar example, if you're the kind of person who, at the moment, your habit tends to be that you change your relationship on a regular basis, seeking a better one, you probably continue doing that.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I think that it's possible to change your relationship with so many things. It's possible to change your relationship with yourself, with your work, with the people that you're with, and make it happier. Absolutely.
And I suppose the work you do, you're doing it for work, for their jobs. But in the end, it actually has it reflects on all areas of their life. They just change completely, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, again, very often. My previous client, came to me with a shopping list of complaints at work, and of course, I always ask, what's the pattern behind all this?
Exactly.
And to be honest, one of the things that came up in our work is that he was denying himself things that he really wanted to do. He was denying himself activities he really wanted to join outside of work And one of the things that I did for him is to reconnect him with doing those things, to put that time aside to do the things he really loved to do. So it started out being about work, but it was actually about, the whole life thing, in that sense. And he's enjoying himself a lot more now.
Brilliant, fantastic.
Brilliant.
Okay then, thank you for talking to us, Steve.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. We look forward to catching up with you sometime, and thank you very much for sharing what you're up to at the minute.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
It's a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.